And now, News 4's Weather Extra with Chief Meteorologist David Paul.
Welcome into Weather Extra. Check this out. That is a tornado, a big one, last evening in Morton, Texas, in the Panhandle, not too far away from Lubbock. Just an incredible storm. The storm structure out there is just something that we don't see around here, thankfully. Monster storm. Still waiting on the classification for what that was, the EF scale, but it was a big one for sure. I've got some imagery later in this show to share with you. All right, meteorologist Ryan Duggar along my side. We have a new addition tonight, so let's begin there. We've got the buzzer when things go awry. We've got the dinger, and you longtime viewers remember this dinger from when we did the 3-degree guarantee.
Yeah.
And when we nailed the high temperature, we would ding the bell. So when we get something right, we're going to do this, because when we get it wrong, we do the buzzer.
Yeah, we've been just marking ourselves wrong for so long, so it'll be nice to highlight when we've done something right for Weather Extra.
Gently patting ourselves on the back,
yes,
I guess,
exactly.
once in a while. Sometimes we get things right. All right, let's dig in tonight with a look at tornado season. So you saw that big storm last night. There's been a lot of severe weather across the country in recent weeks. Have a look here with meteorologist Zach Webster.
The year got off to a little bit of a slow start, but after a couple of active days in March and April, we've quickly seen 2025 turn into an above average year for tornadoes. Here's a graph of the tornadoes that we've seen from day to day. The bold red line is the number that we've seen so far this year. That bolder black line is the average number of tornadoes from day to day from 2010 to 2024. And as you see, we started off the year a little bit below average until we got to the middle of March. Then again, saw a couple of those more active days. We saw those numbers quickly jump up above average. And it looks like we're continuing to stay above average as we head into the summer months. The overall threat for tornadoes starts to shift farther off toward our west as we head into the summer months, generally out across the plain states. Florida also sees a little bit of an increase in the average number of tornadoes that they see throughout the month of June. That is mostly due to tropical systems that can produce tornadoes in their outer bands.
We will be watching that for sure.
Yeah.
Those tropical tornadoes always troublesome because they form and dissipate very quickly. But the big storms are out there over the plain states, and it's happening again this evening too.
Yeah, a lot of the time for the plain states, especially the farther north you go, I'm sure it's because that jet stream likes to dip down just around there, but not as far south as we usually see in the spring.
Yeah, we watch the winds above and that low-level jet. Everything kind of shifts, certainly northward.
Yeah.
But this weekend's an interesting setup because that jet stream kind of sags southward a bit as we go through tomorrow. That will carry some of that energy in West Texas into the Mid-South and the South. So there's really a big swath there of an enhanced risk tomorrow from really the border of Arkansas, Mississippi, all the way into Georgia.
Yeah, we've been seeing a little bit of that energy that you can have conducive for some big thunderstorms producing gusty winds, maybe even some hail. But with the line that could be going through North Alabama tomorrow, it's going to be moving fast. So it's definitely the winds you're going to have to watch out for.
Winds 60+ miles per hour. So take note if you're traveling northward tomorrow. Then Sunday, I think this slight risk might end up getting extended farther westward when the Storm Prediction Center puts out the next update or the update after that. We'll see how the outflow boundaries set up from Saturday, but there's a chance that our area sees some gusty winds on Sunday. So be weather aware, especially on Sunday. We'll break this down as we go through tomorrow. So tomorrow, 2 p.m., it's the northern part of the state, into the central part of the state that sees that line come on through. And as Ryan mentioned, that's the line that may produce some really strong winds. A few showers and storms possible here, but it looks like most of that will be just north and east of us. But again, we'll see where these boundaries set up. The modeling is never perfect. And then Sunday morning early, another round to the north of us. That might make it in Sunday morning. And then there could be another round at some point later Sunday. That model will run pretty quiet. But as the energy above kind of shifts southward on Sunday, parameters here a little more favorable for some gusty winds to form with any storms. So we'll track that for sure as we go through the weekend. All right, coming up next, we're going to talk more about the heat for the weekend and show you some of those images of that Morton tornado coming up next.
And now, News 4's Weather Extra.
Welcome back to Weather Extra. I kind of like the heat. The humidity, it's not too bad. I can put up with it for a few months. Where do you stand?
I think it's a really good excuse to go out and find ways to cool off. Like, I'm a pool bum when it comes to the summer. I love being able to do that when it's super hot outside.
We've got some water guns here. We're going to have to have some fun with that at some point this summer. It will be hot this weekend. Find some water if you're going to be outdoors. Well, in different ways. You know, cold water to drink if you're working outdoors, or some water to relax in.
Exactly. Yeah. It's. I mean, either one. If you got the water bottle, just pour it all over
That's
yourself
right.
if you really want to cool down.
That will work, yeah. It will be hot. This evening and overnight, temperatures only falling into the middle 70s. High temperatures tomorrow, widespread lower 90s, but I see a 95 there mixed in Donaldsonville. Some areas could hit 94, 95, but it's the heat index tomorrow that will be so brutal.
Yeah, those dew points well into the 70s now, and that moisture will be sticking around. So especially where things remain dry, you can feel like temperatures well into the upper 90s to around lower 100s. So not going to be a comfortable day out there tomorrow.
No, 105 in Chipley, 103 Mariana, give or take a couple degrees. That's indicative of how hot and humid it will be on your Saturday. So without much rainfall to cool us off, pretty much all the way through the day and into the evening hours, it will be hot and humid. Okay, let me go back and show you what's happening out there in Texas. This is a really, really cool truck from the University of Oklahoma, Rapid X-Pol. It's a radar on the back of this big Ford truck, and it goes out there, it's mobile, and it can scan very close to monster supercells, and that's what it was doing last evening. And this data is available online. I put it out there on Facebook and on X today. So this is one of the images that was captured last night from that truck in West Texas. You see Morton there on the kind of the middle bottom of your screen. Last evening, that was a tornado that was passing just to the north of there. Really incredible to see the detail so close, because that radar is scanning the lowest part of the atmosphere. So you get a really, really amazing scan of the storm. And that looks like a hurricane, because I see an eye.
Yeah, we're so used to seeing the hook echoes when we're tracking tornadoes,
Right.
but the fact that this rain is so wrapped around, or at least the reflectivity, it's wrapped around all the way, making that distinct eye right there.
It's incredible. So a distant radar, it would look more like a hook, because that detail would not show up, because that radar here is so close. It does show up. That is just incredible to see. Those storms are different animals out there.
Yeah.
And you were out there storm chasing
Yes.
a couple years ago in New Mexico, very similar. What was it like to see these in person?
I mean, it's fantastic to see, especially from a safe distance, the formation of them, because, of course, as meteorologists, you see in a textbook the formations of these supercells, but to see it in person, you could count or you could point out where the inflow is, exactly where the tornado is going to drop in the wall cloud. Like, it was just really a dream come true, but you see how big they can get. They become so powerful in such a short amount of time, too.
And there are HP and LP supercells. HP is?
High precipitation.
LP is?
Low precipitation.
That's right. So what did you see when you were out there?
I mean, a mix of both,
Really?
actually. The low precipitation supercell was the most impressive. It looked like a spaceship in the sky,
Just no
dropping
rain
a little
falling.
bit of
A little
rain.
bit of rain.
So if anyone has the chance to maybe go see that, again, safely, go see it out
Maybe
there.
we should organize a storm chasing trip with you.
Hey, that'd be cool, right?
That's it for tonight's show. We'll see you Monday right here on News 4. Good night.